There it is. We're up 97 seconds. You can't go back now.
Go back on what?
The whole thing is stuck to your arm now. You're going to be like this for the next hour and a half.
I don't like that.
Well, the only thing we don't have maybe on this bad boy is a timer. So we could end up talking for 9 hours and you would never know.
Oh, Lord.
What do you think of that, Joe Skelly?
I would know. It would be super late and I'd be hungry.
We're on site right now. We've broken into one of our listeners' houses and we're just hanging out. I think he's here because I saw his car outside.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not going to know that we're anywhere near his house because he'll never know that we recorded this in his attic.
Well, if he goes to the attic, he might find us.
Oh,
and
well,
if he finds us, then he'll know.
That would just be awkward and weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah, let's talk about other weird stuff.
Like, why are you in my attic? How about none of your fucking business?
Yeah.
How about you go back? How about you go back to your room?
The show
and pretend like you never saw us.
Yeah, the show's happening whether he wants it or not.
It's already going on.
Right. So he's fucked.
The show started. It already started. It's too late.
Should we get into the big one? Are we going right into the big one, or should we just talk about cool things that I noted for the week?
No, I mean we could go into the big one, but I just found this note that I forgot. Like mannequin hands, right? I still haven't solved that one. I found I don't know why I wrote
Is that
mannequin
the one
hands
that
in my notes.
Maybe we wanted mannequin hands. Did we want mannequin hands?
I can't, dude. I've been beating my brains up about this for weeks now, about this fucking mannequin hands thing. I must have been good and deconstructed.
Yeah.
When I wrote mannequin hands down, but then I forgot.
We've got to stop drinking so much at the studio.
Yeah. The other note is I forgot that I was planning on composing the musical of my life.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
How would that go?
It never ends. That's the
it
best
just
part
never
of it,
ends?
Is it doesn't stop.
So,
like you could come see the music. It could come see the musical to current date.
Oh,
and then in 3 months,
it's going to be different.
You could see the update.
How the fuck is anybody going to practice for that?
I haven't conquered that part of it yet.
Oh,
the musical of my life.
This is going to be one of the most.
Or it could be a 3-day show where you got to come back for 3 separate installments, like beginning, middle, and end to bring you to current. And then
still have to practice though. How your actors are going to lose their mind. Because like every 3 fucking days, they're like, Joe Skelly has changed the damn script again.
No, this script only changes as it moves forwards.
Yeah, but every 3 weeks it'll change. Once you're in a rhythm, any kind of a rhythm, you're fucked. Like you have to set how much you're like, hey, you listen, this will happen. This will happen so fast. And because it'll be on such a quick timeline that this is going to become a thing where actors from like Juilliard or whatever famous acting school there is are going to be like, that's the suck.
That's the proving ground.
Right.
That's the proving ground.
Get into there.
If you could do the Joe Skelly's life
right. Because
musical
because there's going to be so many episodes. There's going to be so many episodes that you'll have so many fucking actors that it's going to be like Tech 9 music. Right? So they'll be like, yeah, that track was great with that artist, but this one sucked.
Right.
And then you'll just be turning out amazing actors from your fucking
from
show.
my life.
From your life
From
thing.
my life.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
It'll all have to be reflective memory, so like the main character can change every few weeks. Like next week you might need like a young, strapping young lad to play the sexy Latin in high school Joe Skelly.
I mean, I don't know.
How's that work?
Are
there enough girls for this show?
That's a good
that is a good question.
That's a good question.
Do we have enough girls to show up and just go, "Hey, Joe Skelly"?
I don't know if there are going to be enough for that, or if there'll be enough to play the depraved parts of my life. I just don't know.
Fuck.
I get it.
I read a saying. I read a quote from a content creator the other day. I've seen it a million times before, but often I need to go back and read it. And it says, "You have to bring value to your audience," and I think we've brought enough value.
Dude, I bring tons of value.
I think in 4 minutes we've brought in more value than any of these people are going to get all week.
Oh, without a question. I forgot to mention on a sidebar, I do have ghost pictures.
We are a sidebar.
Oh, to the sidebar. Yes.
Sidebar to the sidebar.
So
where were those ones from?
The ghost pictures I collected We're
Yeah.
from an island in the middle of a river in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And on this
From
island,
your recent trips.
on this island, during the Revolutionary War, there were Seneca Indians that were killed on behest of the colonial soldiers. So the colonial soldiers raided the island and slaughtered a bunch of Seneca Indians.
This sounds like the age-old story.
What's that?
You know, white man invades, white man gets rid of Indians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so it is.
But here's the strange part, is while I was foraging for wood
Okay.
on this island for the campfire,
Okay.
every time I would come around a bend, I would have the image flash into my brain. This is even before I knew the history of the island.
Right.
This is while I was when we first got there and we're foraging, I would keep getting this image flashing in my head that I was going to come around the corner, I was going to find a bloody corpse.
Why?
I don't know. And when I went back to the campsite, I said, listen, here's what I got to tell you. This happened to me like 5 times while I was out there foraging for wood. And the image I got was the same image again and again and again. And I don't understand why I was getting this image in my head while I was walking around foraging for wood.
Were you worried about White Walkers?
No.
No.
I mean, it's only 30. It's probably 30 acres.
Were they big, like flayers of people, or what? What do you mean? You just think anybody?
No, I kept seeing this. It was in very particular. I kept seeing the image of a bloody body laying on the ground.
Why was it bloody?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know anything about the island. This is every time, like, I would come around a corner, look of a big tree, looking for wood on the ground, and all of a sudden this image would pop into my head, and I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? And
Right.
there wouldn't be a body there. And I was like, well, that was weird. But it happened not once, but it happened like 5 times.
Stop hanging out in creeper places.
Yeah, I should.
I think
I tell you what, I did bring the digital recorder with me and the ghost camera. And I tried the digital recording, and I didn't get a single thing. But I have not checked the pictures yet.
Oh.
I've left that for us to...
Well, when we break back into the studio, we're going to have to check those.
Yeah, after we get out of this guy's attic.
Yeah. And we'll have to get them out into the Patreon.
Yeah.
For our Patreon members.
Only.
There's a lot of ghost pictures on Patreon.
Patreon only?
We don't do ghost pictures in the main.
Is that where you earn money, on Patreon only?
Mm-hmm.
As long as I don't have to take my clothes off.
Well, when you're sleeping...
Oh.
Me and the evil kid and Pony Boy...
Oh,
we just handle the business.
That's kind of creeper show.
It's not weird.
No, it's not weird.
It's only weird if you know.
Oh.
And since you haven't seen any of the content, it's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it be.
I know you got spies everywhere, though. First of all, since we got to go into this big segment. This is what they want to hear. But before we get there, I know you also have spies on the Patreon.
What do you mean I have spies on the Patreon?
I know. Tons of these random female emails have been signing up lately. There's people liking our post on there. There's people following us.
I
don't.
I'm not sure who's responsible for that.
Yeah, I know your peoples are there somewhere. Before we get on to our big topic of today, which is going to be a little funny, like haha clown funny. Shout out and thank you to our Patreon members.
Oh yeah,
and all of our supporters.
Yeah.
On the other Patreon, that was the old Patreon, that some are still there because they can't figure out how to fix their credit card info. Kenobi. He says it all the time, bro. I was like, hey, Kenobi, you gonna fix this? He's like, nah, I can't be bothered.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to our supporters, though.
Who doubled down.
Yep, and I hope you guys have been enjoying your stickers and our secret squirrel stuff that we've been sending out.
I do have to mention somebody.
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
I do have to mention one of our listeners.
Yep.
Very specifically, the listener who took our stickers to Europe and the Mediterranean
and posted them everywhere. Shout out to that guy.
That
is some wild shit.
Yeah. You know who Mando Scarizian.
Yep.
Man, I've almost forgot his name. Mando Scarizian. Big shout out to you for putting our stickers up in Dubrovnik. And in other places,
which is wild,
along the Adriatic.
Right. Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you.
We are international.
Right. Actually, we need to get some. I think we need to get some Street Team stickers to him. I don't know if we did.
Absolutely.
We got to get some more to him.
And all he wanted in exchange was a Bigfoot sticker.
Ooh, that's hot.
But if we got him some Street Team stickers, I think that would be
Yeah, that Bigfoot sticker's hot too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you our supporters. Thank you our listeners. We love all 7 of you. You're fucking amazing. You're awesome.
All the other people are probably tired of us gloating over the people that, show us love, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go into the big segment.
It's fine. They weren't hanging out anyways.
Let's talk about the big event.
Let's talk about the big event. Let's see.
We teased it long enough.
Right.
Did anybody come up to you and give you the special code to win the prize?
Absolutely not.
So nobody
not one single
showed up to the event.
Was that I saw that we knew was at the gathering.
So no listeners approached you at the gathering.
Not that I'm aware of.
And let's refresh everybody's memory. The gathering of
the Juggalos.
The Juggalos.
That's
the
right.
ICP fans.
We just went. It was I went looking for Joe Skelly as usual.
Yeah.
Because I know he parties without me when I'm not around in the studio.
Well, hey, sometimes.
Which is usually rare. I'm either in the studio wondering where he is, or I'm outside the studio looking for where he is. If that makes any sense. So anyways, there we are. We go to the Juggalo camp to look for Joe Skelly. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else to say besides that.
That's a rather short segment.
I mean, does it need... We bring truth. We're
Okay.
truth bringers. There's
All
no
right, so
no AI here.
I have not heard this whole story of your experience at the Juggalo camp.
Yeah, so it started out great.
Okay.
You guys, by the way, our YouTube movie will come out for the showing all of our Juggalo scene footage and everything else and all that jazz. So you can look forward to that in the next week. But it started out really good. Shout out to the girl at Bob Evans.
Oh.
Was it Bob Evans? It was. I got it right this time. Shout out to the nice waitresses at Bob Evans who let us interview them.
Okay.
Shout out to all the security that let us interview them. Shout out to the other people that let us interview them. The Juggalos did not let us interview them.
Oh, so hold on. So
This was a big mess. It was crazy. It started out good. We were doing good.
then
Everyone
it
was
got
talking
nuts
to us. And then we finally got to the gate and it got wildin'.
Okay.
First of all, when you pull in, as far as the eye can see, cars and tents everywhere. The Juggalos don't give a fuck about rules.
So they were tenting where you're supposed to park.
Yes.
So where
And
do
the
you park?
Just anywhere, apparently.
Okay.
They have a nice zoned off area, but as the wonderful security guard was nice enough to tell us, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So they just do what they want. We looked up all the rules, by the way, on their website, and one of them was don't camp in the parking lot, and they do. So right off the rip, when you show up, you can already tell these clowns don't care.
Oh, the clowns as in...
The Juggalos.
Juggalos.
They're also clowns.
Okay.
Because if we only call ICP the clowns, I think there'll only be 2 clowns, and that's not enough.
That's not enough.
No.
Not for a parade.
No.
Isn't that
Parade.
song?
This-
So when I was just a young boy,
Yeah.
my dad took me to see the clowns in the parade.
Yep.
Isn't that the song?
Dude, listen. My Chemical Romance,
Isn't that Black Rain Sunday or whatever?
Yeah, Black Parade. Listen, people don't know this. They created an entire emo scene of kids that didn't know secretly they were following ICP.
Yeah. Well,
That's
here's my
the
other theory
kicker.
is the ICP is the new version of the Grateful Dead fans.
Oh, 1,000%.
The Juggalos are the new Dead fans.
1,000%. If they were also like the barbarians of Barnum and Bailey mixed together with gypsies and every other nomadic group there is.
Okay.
The Juggalos
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. The Juggalos have a culture that you and I cannot comprehend.
Is it because we haven't been imbued with enough of it?
I think so.
You don't know all the rules because the rules...
Absolutely not.
You're a very rule-oriented person.
So
So when the people
it's
have
weird.
rules that aren't rules or don't follow a standard set, I think it throws you for a loop.
It does. Now, most people would also say that we happen to be rule oriented, so we know where to break the rules. These motherfuckers just break them all. They did not care.
So is the rule don't follow the rules?
See, that's where it gets confusing for us as normal people, as non-juggalos. As non-juggalos, you know.
What did the security guards tell you
So
when you showed up?
So we showed up, and as we're pulling in, the Fumbles was parking for us, and the security guard was like directing it. And as we pulled in, like 3 other people, he was waving them into spots, and they just decided to blow by him at speed.
Oh.
So as we're getting out, this guy goes, "Damn, motherfucking Juggalos." And then he looks at us and goes, "Y'all have a good one, safe gathering. Whoop, whoop, motherfuckers." So I was very confused because I'm like, wait a minute. Is this guy the Juggalo or is he security? Because you think they're security, but then he's not. Turns out the Juggalos have their own security.
Oh.
So the minute you step
is
on...
it people that are assigned to be security? Or is it somebody who's pretending to be security who also happens to be a Juggalo?
It's how could we know? I think it's impossible for us to know. He used the code. He used the lingo. He dressed. He had the security vest, but I'll tell you what, under that, all Juggalo.
Oh, okay.
All Juggalo.
What if he's
very
just
confusing.
a security guard that happens to also be a Juggalo?
Well, in that case, they found all security guards that were all Juggalos and Juggalettes, because they absolutely, every single one said have a safe gathering, and then basically proceeded to either tell us...
That's super PC, and I wouldn't have expected that from the Juggalos.
Right.
Right.
And then they proceeded to tell us how that in a few hours they would be off to party at the gathering.
Oh.
And then to further that, I believe that some of the security had already started partying, because one gentleman in particular, shout out to Shroom, because he looked like Shroom's doppelganger, but one gentleman in particular was like, "Hey guys, I get off in a couple of hours. It's been a quick shift. I started at 8. I'm almost done, and then I'm ready to party." But dude, it was like 8:30.
Oh.
And because we were walking out for dinner at 8:30, and my man was like, "I get off in a couple of hours. I started at 8. Only got an 8-hour shift." And I'm like, "My man, I'm not good at math. I'm only half Asian, but somehow this doesn't add up." So that was the door guy.
Okay.
The security's crazy. They will stop. They had people there taking their bags out, stripping their bags. Now here's what's crazier. I don't know what the fuck they were looking for, because nothing got taken. I'm pretty sure I saw a dude who got like a 10-pound bag of weed pulled out of his bag, and they didn't take that shit. The security guy just sniffed it and put it back.
He was just verifying that it was real.
And I didn't see any of it, but every time they passed, these gentlemen would pass with all their gathering festival materials. Party favors. Is that what they call them? I don't know. I've never been to a party. But every time they would pass, I think they were palming some to the security guys, because they had some, to put away, so to speak.
Well, that's you put everybody on the payroll.
Right.
That's how you ensure your supply gets in.
Right. So that was just the parking lot.
Oh. That
was just all in the parking lot. We also had a few people stop us, and so this is what's weird too, and you guys are gonna see this on the video, on YouTube, where we make our video about it. But this was really weird. First of all, I think Joe Skelly had people there the whole time. That's my first. This is my first.
I'm never gonna give you all of this inside scoop.
Right, and he wouldn't, and I expect that. Especially, like I said, from the college team he used to play on, they know these kind of games. So they leave a lot blacked out, so to speak. Anyways, so this is why this is where it gets weird. All right, besides the whole parking lot thing, this is where it's funny. So outside the gate, everyone was willing to talk to us. Everybody was fine. The minute we crossed the threshold, like we don't exist.
You didn't exist, or everybody just went on lockdown?
We didn't exist.
Oh.
Or maybe they did go on lockdown. Dude, I think, bar none, that the Juggalos have the most underground secret society there is.
Intriguing.
Okay?
How do you know my people weren't there working ahead of you?
That would just add to it. Listen, your people can get so much done, right? But explain this to me, okay? The cops were there. The cops didn't see a thing. It was a hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil moment.
The cops aren't trying to take 25,000 people to jail.
Right. That's the first of all. So I seen some guys there, and the Juggalos don't care. I saw a Juggalo party favor dealer told the cop to give him a ride while he's yelling out the names of his party favors. Now listen, a lot of you guys don't know, but Tyler went to school to be a pharmacy tech. And I know some drug names. Let me tell you, bro, there were some fucking drug names there that ain't nobody heard in 15 years. That's why we're going back to the Grateful Dead comment.
Yeah.
Because there were some drugs being sold that were...
Like, bro, where did you find this drug?
Yes.
This is so outdated.
Yes.
Where did you find this?
I was like, bro, I haven't seen this since like, a Miami Vice TV show. Like, where did you fucking acquire this? And they had it just full out, bro. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right.
Now, I heard that you met some high-ranking...
Oh, we did. Oh, we'll get to those. We'll get to those. Yeah, we met a ton of them. Now, on that note, again, I think it's a setup.
Why?
I think you remember?
Here's what I think.
How do we say this?
Here's what I think. I think it wasn't what you anticipated because it wasn't the premiere night, maybe.
It's not, but it's not just that though. You explain this to me. How can you have all those drugs and all those things out there and nobody's DFOing out or anything? How's that make sense? There's no EMS running around. There's nothing. So you're telling me I walked into the carnival of the Juggalos and Juggalettes run by the ICP and magically they have no issues? Their peoples are just on par? Or what are these, professional drug users? No, there's no way, bro.
If you've been following the ICP for 20 years, like people followed the Dead, how many people were DFOing at Dead concerts?
I don't know. I've never been to one. Were they?
No.
Do a lot? No, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure some were, but it's not like these are professionals.
Listen, there was a secret thing. Here's how I know too. You want to know?
Oh.
Every time I would put the camera up, people would turn their backs, and you're going to see it on the camera. But the minute I'd put it down, people would run up to us and talk to us.
See?
We did have somebody come up and they were like, "Hey, you're that famous podcast. You're all over the world. You have hundreds of thousands of views and shit. We looked it up." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not us, bro." And he told me, he goes, "That guy over there is a famous Juggalo. He did blah, blah, blah movies and such albums. He told me that he knows you motherfuckers and that you're super famous. You're lying to me." And I was like,
my. So,
oh, shit.
So old boy put you on.
We don't know. We don't know because, again, none of them would talk to us. Now, there were some nice moms that talked to us. Shout out to the moms that were there.
Did you find the Christians for Juggalos?
I did. Shout out to my man, Steve.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, we will not be putting his interview on the video because I'm not going to put the Lord out like that.
Okay.
We didn't go for that.
Yeah.
But there is a tent there for Jesus if you're looking. And these are all recovered Juggalos. Let me tell you something, man. I walked by that tent. Did
you get a shirt?
I did not.
I know that was a goal.
So it was a goal until I went there and I saw some of the people's faces.
Oh.
And then I was like, no, this is not correct. So we left that one alone.
Okay.
Right?
I'm impressed.
As everybody knows, everybody who's been listening to our show for long enough knows that we're not really into the bad stuff. You know, we love that they're helping and they are helping, but those people didn't go to the Juggalo camp so Joe Skelly and Tyler could catch them on camera, right? At the Jesus tent is what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
So we're just showing them respect, right, Joe?
Oh, understood.
Joe knows that. Joe's been out to the one we've had to do a lot of editing and cutting in our other jobs. So we're just leaving it at that.
I 100% respect. So not putting their business out.
But shout out to our man Steve who gave us the interview, who let us talk to him, who told us what it was about. who had the conversation. And again, dude, the music that was coming out of that tent was pretty hard. Like the shit they were saying, I was like, yo.
It
dude.
wasn't gospel then.
Oh, it was though. It was. He was like, my man blickied my homie, so I talked to the Lord.
Oh.
And I was like, oh. And he told me through the light I shouldn't settle scores. I was like, oh my. And then he named 10 drugs I hadn't heard of in fucking 20 years. He's like, I dip it in embalming. Because I know we ain't common. And I'm like, oh shit. Dude, you got to chill out with that. So, but Steve kept it real.
Okay.
And he gave us the interview, and he was not. This is the joke, man. It ain't for us because we about the entertainment. That ain't entertainment. My man's out there rescuing motherfuckers.
Right. Hey.
Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve.
And Jesus for Juggalos.
Right. Rescue 911 for Juggalos. See Steve.
So, yeah. Listen. So, Jesus. All this is in the parking lot, bro. We're not even in the festival yet. So we had to do a walk of shame because we walked up to security, and after they gave us the full cavity strip search, they had us, out there with a bunch of juggalettes doing all kinds of weird shit man, they had some dudes in diapers down there stripping.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So after they did that, we got to the front, and the nice blonde girl was like, "Show me your bracelet." And I said, "I don't have a bracelet." And she said, well, then you got to go back and get one. And I was like, okay. So the three of us had to do the walk of shame all the way back the parking lot, away from the front gate to the selling gate. That's where we met another famous Juggalo who apparently created a Juggalo game.
Oh.
That's like famous. I don't remember the name because...
Of the game or...
Of the game or the Juggalo guy.
Okay.
There was so much going on. There was a lot. And we might have consumed a few drinks.
Okay.
And then realizing, not counting in the sun and the mask and other things, we might have forgotten a few things. But yeah, the guy selling the tickets apparently created a super famous game that Juggalos all play. They have their own game, my man.
Oh, wow.
They have their own games. I recently learned they have their own movies. We obviously know they have their own record label.
Yes.
So, yeah. So let's see, where were we? We had to do the walk of shame. We went back. A bunch of people identified us, stopped us outside. That interview will be up on the Patreon and the YouTube. You can see that later. So that's, again, you'll see the outside interview where they interviewed us, and we asked them, and they were very honest about it. Actually, in fact, let me bring this up too. Every Juggalo I asked if they'd seen you said no, and quickly changed the subject, which is how I know the Juggalos were paid by Joe Scally.
That my workers
Listen,
were
my
hard
man,
at work.
That's some shit. Either that or these homies are all criminals and just know. And maybe they just knew and...
They just know not to talk?
If they were like, Joe Scally, you want to ask me if I know where Joe Scally... No, I've never seen him.
Right.
That was the whole answer I got.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Besides the one gentleman outside the gate who was the honeypot.
Yeah, and my man didn't... The guy outside the gate, he didn't say something like, last I heard he went to Texas. Right? He didn't say that.
That one did not.
Okay. All right.
That one did not.
You didn't find all
what
my people
his
then.
odd wording was this. But I haven't been looking for him today either.
Oh, there you go.
And I was like, you son of a bitch.
See, look.
Notice out of all the hundreds of people I asked if they'd seen you, not one of them said, I don't know Joe Scally.
Yeah.
They just said, I haven't seen him today.
They are all well informed.
Right.
Well informed.
Right.
So, several famous Juggalos.
So you want to talk about some of the famous Juggalos? Again, we're not going to put their names out there because honestly, we can't.
Okay.
We can't. Once you cross the threshold, there's somebody there that tells you. They're like, you're in the gathering, you're in the gathering. I believe they use the same slogan as Vegas.
Oh,
what happens at the gathering stays at the gathering.
Right.
So, we can't use his names, but you can go find them. They're all over the place. There was a very famous face painter Juggalo that we met. Shout out to my man.
Yes.
He gave us an interview, very nice interview that might be on Patreon, might not be. We don't know. We have to send it to the Juggalos and get it cleared.
I got you. I respect that.
So we're not really sure. A lot of the footage that's being gone through, we haven't cleared with them yet. But he was super cool. Listen, here's what he said. This is where, so he's famous one, and the this is where I think he wasn't one paid by Joe Skelly, because when I talked to him and interviewed him and I said, hey man, we're getting a bit of a cold shoulder here. People aren't talking to us. They ain't coming around.
Right. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Right. And he told me, he said, look, man, he goes, first of all, they know you're from YouTube. It was weird. We walked up and the first thing he said, Joe Skelly, he goes, oh, y'all are from YouTube. I know you guys. And I was like,
oh shit.
Oh,
so people have been informing.
I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, I think it's a secret society thing.
Their spy network.
Yes.
Their spy network was already anticipating.
I think we landed there and everyone inside knew that we were walking in before we made it, because they have such good intel.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it.
Right.
I mean, didn't you happen to mention that you were in contact with several Juggalos you met online?
Oh, yeah. And then, guess what?
Maybe they're the ones that passed the word along.
And not one of them came to see us.
Yeah.
All the Juggalos that talked to us online that were like, they call it gathering. They say, we're going to gather, homie. And I said, I've never done this before, but I want to try. And, no, didn't see one of them, bro. Super spies. Listen, bro, these guys got this whole thing on fucking lockdown.
So what would you say to somebody who wants to experience
You absolutely should go. Oh, absolutely, you should go.
Should you go for, I mean, it's a 4-day event.
It's a 4-day festival.
Okay.
So shout out to all of our sponsors and supporters. On a serious note, guys, it was phenomenal to go. Without your guys' support, me and Joe could not have put the trip together. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. It is a 4-day event. The tickets are $250, and then additional to whatever, if you buy like a camping spot or a special spot or a VIP pass, they add that onto the $250, which I actually thought was pretty cool. So if you go into their prices, you pay your $250, and then if you just buy this one ticket for an extra $150, you're getting that extra piece. I think that's amazing, because listen, you can tell.
You're saying $500,
mm-hmm.
all inclusive for 4 days.
Oh,
VIP,
easy. Oh,
camping, parking.
Oh yeah,
$500.
If you wanted to VIP to shake hands with people, you're looking at $700. For VIP living in there for the 4 days, you're looking at $500-$600. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not talking about how many people. I'm assuming they're selling ticket by person, but if you had 10 friends throw down 100 for 150, I mean, that's $10, whatever, and you're all in the same van, you're good to go. You could tell people had crammed into cars. Almost like a clown car, the irony.
Financially, it's really not that bad of a deal.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Considering you're there for 4 days, 24 hours a day.
Right.
Where some people pay, I don't know, $12,000 to a ticket to a WWE event.
So,
which is only 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's go on this part too, and I'll throw this out here for you guys.
We don't know anybody like that, do we, Tyler?
No. So let's throw this out right now and say this too. One of the secrets that I can tell you about the camp, or intriguing things was, another way I knew they were your people. Everyone tries to give you free food. Somebody tried to take every single person. I walk up to somebody, hey man, you need some water? Hey, you need some food? Have it, eat it, sit down and enjoy it.
That's how they prevent the DFO.
That didn't make that's fucking crazy to me, bro.
That's
just
how they
random
prevent
strangers.
the DFO.
Some of the strangers offered us chicken breast.
Yep.
They were like, hey man, we got steaks, hot dogs, wieners. You want some fucking barbecue? I was like, no. It's hard to eat through my mask, so I can't today, but I would love to next time, So it was wild, bro. Chicken wings, granola bars, snacks, gummies, cookies, coffee cake, treats, obviously Faygo,
right.
Fresh water.
Right. Listen,
bro,
man.
They're like, I got brand new water here for you for free. Oh, you don't need any? Okay, cool. I'm selling water then. And you're like, wait a minute. You just said you give it to me for free. Yeah, only if you need it though. But if you don't need it, you got to pay me. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, we got to make sure everyone gets taken care of. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening right now? Now, I'm not going to get too technical into our well-versed, this is where it gets weird too, because we're talking about prices right now. Not to get into the, what did I go to school for again? Sorting pills, whatever.
Pharmacy tech.
Yeah, pharmacy tech. Listen. So when you get in, this is where you brought it up, right? Financially scalable for everybody. When you get in, everybody's a secret street vendor.
Oh.
So there's nothing there you can't afford.
Oh. There's a street pharmacist everywhere.
There's no knock-up prices.
Oh.
There is absolutely no knock-up prices.
So if you're into the party favors.
Yep. You will go, and it's not like what you just said. We go to wrestling. What are we paying for a wrestling shirt? Markup price.
Oh.
$100, $120
bucks.
Well,
no, 40 bucks.
40 bucks. It's crazy, right?
Right?
You go in there.
You want a WWE belt? They start at $400.
So you go in there.
You want a beer at the event? $10.99 a can.
You go in there, $1 a beer. They had cigarettes for, what did they say? $10 a carton.
Dude,
yes. Everybody in the studio right now is turning their heads right now. And every time we would walk by, they'd be like, $10 a carton. And these motherfuckers were like, some of the juggalos were like, did he just say $10 a carton, bro? I'm about to go buy that and go outside the camp and sell it. And the other guy would be like, that's not allowed, homie. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
$10 a fucking carton,
yeah,
bro.
Because listen, they boosted.
Or $2 a pack.
Yeah, they boosted a truck on the way down to the gathering.
I don't ask. We didn't ask, right?
Right.
How the fuck did that? How?
Pretty amazing.
Listen, we bought some party favors just to see if the prices were legit to the product. They were.
There you go.
They were. I think for at least 10 of the 20 hours we were there, they're blackout hours. But it's okay because we know we were there. Know we were there.
Yep.
Because your people knows. And you know what? ICP knows we were there.
Yeah, I heard. I heard ICP knows you were there. I heard that there were people that have stickers.
Stickers. Yep. Shout out again to the famous Juggalos that were happy enough to take our stickers. That was really cool of you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, seriously, man. Listen, the guy wants more people. Like, they want more people. It's a great festival. I think that
is the craziness overblown, or is the craziness, but it's not.
I think the craziness isn't overblown. I just think it's not to scale as it was 20 years ago.
Okay.
Because here's another thing that I noticed, not to get weird or whatever, but every Juggalo in there over the age of 35 had a partner. That was wild.
Oh.
So
okay.
Every person that was older looked paired up.
Oh.
There were mothers there. There were mothers with their sons there.
Listen, again, they are the new Dead fans.
Bro. And then here's one where here's another one. This is a secret that I'm going to give out just to the podcast listeners, because again, the listeners got to get something. This is legit. I have never seen a crew clean up in between sets. They have the Juggalos go out in between sets and all of them bend down and pick up all the trash that they all just sat there throwing for the last hour, and they clean it up for the next set. That's
pretty amazing.
That was phenomenal.
I'm tempted. We'll talk.
Yeah, I was blown away. Seriously though, all jokes aside, like I think and I'm saying this like in a not. I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything, but I think the Juggalo fucking gathering is the last free gathering there is. Bro, if you go anywhere else, and I don't have to go to these other places because I have tons of friends, relatives that go to these raves and do all the drugs and blah. I don't give a fuck about that. I get really bored really fast. But I know for a fact that these dudes tell me they go there and it's just marked up prices and you're paying for all kinds of shit. Everything in the Juggalo camp, they had people there that 3D printed Juggalo Hatchet Man icons and were selling them for $2 a piece. And these people, they don't, every person, this is also how we knew that they knew we were new. We were the only three motherfuckers walking around with no Juggalo gear on.
That's how they knew.
I have never seen so many Hatchet Mans in my life. I used to think that Hatchet Man was a rare thing to even see to begin with, and that I felt like it was a unicorn emblem when we saw it in the open. I will never feel that way again. There were dudes walking around with.
So was it better that your first time you had no Hatchet Man, so everybody knew you were a first timer, or would it had been worse had you been wearing Hatchet Man like ICP shirts, Hatchet Man gear, and then they found out you were a first timer?
That is such a good question. I have no idea how to answer that.
I'm gonna go with it was probably better off that you stood out and were a first timer,
right?
Than tried to pretend
And just didn't clout chase.
Yeah, just didn't clout chase because if
you can't clout chase the Hatchet Man
at an event like that. An event of, as you said, of
free folk.
People.
Free people.
Folk.
Yep.
Free folk. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in the immortal words of the Reaper, freedom is not doesn't equate with safety.
No. Absolutely not. That, and to go onto that word, just as an aside, this is the first craziest thing. The number one craziest fucking thing that I saw at this camp. You know what it is?
What's that?
Not one fucking fight. That is what blew my mind the whole time we were there. There wasn't one altercation. There wasn't one person who didn't say, excuse me, or lick my butthole, in a nice way.
Right.
It was very peculiar. I mean, even the people who would walk by and they'd bump into each other, they'd turn around and flip them off, and they'd do it with a smile. And I was blown the fuck away, bro. These guys are policing themselves.
They say the gathering is about family.
It is. 1,000%. I can't deny that now.
Like, I'm sure you were trying to find ways to poke holes in this.
Absolutely. Oh, I was. You paint me a picture, you build a case, I'm going to sink it. Yeah, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I went to school for law. So,
Along with pharmacy.
Pharmacy? No, I never went to school for pharmacy. Who said that? But listen, seriously, how the fuck are these guys manning their own camp with that many people? And there were secret parties that went on that we couldn't find. Oh, yeah, let's not even talk about that. There were some parts of the fucking camp we didn't find. I was trying to find it. It's labeled on the catalog. It said, hey, this time, here's XYZ party. Boom, did not exist.
Oh, I'm sure it existed.
You could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Right. Yeah.
No passwords, no way to get there.
Just on the DL. You got to be on.
Yep.
You got to be on the know.
1,000%. We learned a secret word that's being coined by the first gentleman outside the gate, who I again believe was one of their flaggers, one of their whistlers, right?
Yeah.
He said he invited us to a party at 1:23 a.m. for milk and cookies in the woods. He said that there are juggalos in there called Woodalows.
Oh.
And I said, my man, you got codes for the juggalos in the woods? And he said, my man, I made that up right now. It's a Woodalow. He said, you don't want to fuck with the Woodalows. I said, no, I don't. I'll stay on the trails. Thank you. And we did. We did not cut through anywhere. We stayed on the trails. But there were cutoffs. And there were Woodalows. We actually showed up to one of the stages, and it was against a giant hilltop. And it took me a while to realize, getting up close, that the Juggalo tents were sprawled out through the woods all the way up the hills. All the way up. Woodalows.
Different folks.
Can you believe it?
So, would you go back to the gathering?
Oh, I'll be back there next year to find you, to prove that I know you're going there without me. I know your peoples are there. Plus, the famous guy invited us back, so we want to go back.
Oh, for sure. Now, how far did people travel for the gathering?
Oh, my goodness. I think the furthest plate we saw was Texas. Was it Texas? Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Driven.
Hey, look.
Driven.
It's a huge event.
It is huge. It was so overwhelming.
What? Okay.
To be around so much.
For people who might consider going to the Gathering of the Juggalos for the ICP 4-day Free Folk Festival.
Yeah.
What would your warnings be?
Don't
be assholes.
Don't be assholes. Bring lots of stuff if you're going to stay on site. Bring all your food. Bring everything. You're allowed.
Right.
You're allowed to bring food on site.
Right.
And there's people selling food there.
Don't be shocked by anything you see.
Don't be shocked by anything you see. I don't think I'd bring kids around. There was a lot of nudie booties there.
Right.
A lot of nudie booties, like a lot of dudes.
I'm
A
sure.
lot of nude dudes. I was very quite a bit of footage I've seen that I was like, oh, this is some great footage for YouTube, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
This just reinforces
My
my
man
whole
in the
thing that
background is
this is the new form of the dead following.
1000%. I think that I would bring your happy face. I think that's number one. I think that's the face I forgot.
Yeah.
I was there so busy looking for Joe Skelly that I did not expect it to be so amazing. I don't know what else to say to that.
So the warnings are, if you're going to stay, bring food, bring a tent.
Bring food, bring water, come one, come all. They want you guys there.
Right.
And it is a great festival. I mean, the
It's
costumes.
crazy. There's craziness.
There is. Again, we're not going to talk about that. I don't have any interest in talking about some of the craziness that we saw. It's,
What I'm just
it's
saying,
rated
like-
R.
Oh,
It's rated R.
That's what I'm trying to get
And
at.
that's what, yeah.
What, if you would, but you don't have to worry about violence.
No, nobody's going to bother you. Nobody pressures. Dude, I heard people that were stopping while they were walking to help others explain how to take certain party favors.
Got
Like,
ya.
and dudes were giving like guided meditations on the road to other people. Like it was completely the opposite of the types of people that you usually introduce me to. I'm just saying.
So it totally went against everything you anticipated in finding them.
Absolutely. And also, while still filling that void, all the carnival rides are free. What the fuck, dude? So they're not
So there
upcharging
were
you?
carnival rides.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Okay.
And they weren't upcharging you for them. Tell me this is not a festival that really wants you to have a good time. It wasn't go in and pay $5 more to ride the ride. No, it was go in, line up, and ride the ride. as
Was there
much as you
carnival
want.
food?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Pizzas. What do they call
Elephant ears? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
all these things. All these things were there. Vendors. There was a vendor selling, glass. Bro, he had a display shelf in the middle of a field. How did he get display cases into the middle of a field to sell you glass items for your party favors?
Yeah. Your tobacco pipes.
Tobacco pipes, thank you. That's what they're called. I've never used one. They're very cool looking. I thought they were lamps, but anyways, so they're, bro. And again, I go back. I know I hate to say this. The prices. There's no markups. You're buying giant items that you'd normally pay $120 for $20.
Is it cash only?
Nope. Some of them took credit cards. A lot of them took credit cards.
I'm kind of impressed.
It blows my mind.
It
Blows my mind. I expected to go in there and, to have to buy a cigarette for $10. They're selling cartons for $10. How is that and listen, we know how it's possible. We don't care. The fact of the matter is that all these different individuals go through all this fucking trouble to make this party great.
That's pretty incredible.
That fucking blows my mind.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, and let's be honest, Juggalos have not had the greatest of reputations.
I think it's just haters. I think it's haters. We've been over this. All the Juggalos I know are the nicest motherfuckers in the world. They don't have their shit together sometimes.
They're crazy as fuck.
Sometimes.
But they're really polite.
Extremely polite. The nicest guys. They give you the shirt off their back. Like, listen, this is part of the reason why I think and thought you'd be there. I'm like, these are like Joe Skelly's people, minus some of the extracurriculars. But listen, I guarantee if you walk through there long enough, you're going to find some straight edge Juggalos. So it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Is that the next quest, to find your straight edge Juggalos?
Well, so listen, guys. I mean, I'm not the Juggalos, for being what we were, being brand new to their camp, and not having any insignia, and them knowing we were outsiders, and then of course the plus of them being paid by Joe Skelly. I think they treated us pretty well. I think this next trip is going to allow us to, I think we're going to post up shop at the next trip. I think we might be out there and actually just hang out for the full 4 days and try to see how the whole thing just plays out. Plus, again, I gotta match you. I gotta know. I think I catch you up there, my man. They have all the same skills that you do from your same college teams. They paint their faces. They run around in the woods. They shit in little bottles and carry them around with them. I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now. Listen, at nighttime, you know what they do?
What's that?
You're not going to believe this. Craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. Thousands of glow sticks all over the trails. So in the nighttime, it just looks like a colorful...
So they light the trails.
With glow sticks. And they just throw them all over the ground and you walk on them. And it's beautiful. Thousands of them. I don't even know where the fuck you would get
that many
hundreds of thousands of glow sticks to throw all over 65 acres or whatever the size of that fucking place is. But they have them. And it's like all of them walked out and just dumped them on the ground so you can see.
That's pretty wild.
It is crazy, dude. And
Pretty
again,
wild.
I can't listen back to the couples that walk around. I can't believe how many of them had matching gear on. The swag, oh my.
Would you say it rivals WWE fans and how they...
Oh, it beats them.
Oh.
WWE fans don't have shit on these people.
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh, my.
They're garbage.
You...
WWE fans might get
That's
one
a
or...
huge statement.
Yeah, no, fuck those guys. They got nothing. All the
That's a huge fucking statement.
All the WWE / Juggalos are shaking their hands going, yeah, Juggalos will fuck those guys up. Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm taking from this. If you're a Juggalo hater, stop and hold your hate till you go to a gathering.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And after the gathering, if you still hate, okay.
yeah, you can.
I mean, that's a fair statement.
They'll
right?
let you do that. They want you to do that because they're having a good time.
Right.
They're like, dude, you could hate all you want out there because we're having a great time in here.
All right.
It is a magic barrier.
That's super weird. I would not have anticipated any of the information that you're passing on. 'Cause,
Well,
you know, I have my ears to the ground. I know what my ears tell me.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, again, stop your hate until you show up.
Yeah. And,
Right. What's the old saying? Taste before you hate, or try everything at least once, twice if you like it.
twice if you like it a little.
Yep.
Oh, my. I think it's amazing. I think it's, especially again, for a festival that draws bands that talks about chopping people's heads off.
This is not what you anticipated.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Except for the smell. The smell was there. But any festival's going to smell. I mean, you're walking around with sweaty dudes. Come on. You can't tell me those EDM festivals don't smell like ass.
Right.
10,000
so
people in there doing
so
jumping jacks.
Here's the next question. What was the ratio of men to women? It wasn't 50-50.
That's a hard one to tell. That's a hard one to tell. Everybody had costumes on. It was sweaty, hot.
Costumes everywhere.
Yeah, that's honestly really hard to tell. Some of the couples, man, again, that'd be a 50-50 because they're couples, right? So, but some of the couples looked amazing. I mean, just amazing. You could just tell some of these people had busted out like their Sunday Juggalo best.
They put a lot of work into their swag.
Oh, 1,000%.
To be seen.
1,000%.
I mean, and I would guess after a certain amount of time of going to the gathering, like your status elevates, right?
Oh,
everybody
dude.
starts to know who you are over time.
Oh, 1,000.
And you start to climb the ladder.
There were people that were hugging. That's what's so crazy. So like they'd be hugging each other and then dude would see the camera and he'd kind of nod at the other guy and then they'd kind of walk away. They knew. They were like, we don't want to be filmed by you weirdos in YouTube. You know what I mean? And it was very, very peculiar because they were not rude about it in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. Even the famous guy told me when I was interviewing him, which we won't be able to post a lot of that because it's a behind the scenes interview about this stuff. But he told me, he goes, look, man, if it had been a bit ago, you guys would have had some problems coming through here. He goes, but a lot of the old timers and a lot of the meaner guys have settled out and they've recognized that it's good to bring new blood to the gathering, to convert people to come to this event.
So things have changed.
Yes. Oh, 1,000%. He basically told us, not verbatim, but hey, luckily it's today's age.
So it used to be a lot crazier.
Yes. I think it used to be a lot more closed off too. I think it would have been a much more...
there were no first timers unless you came escorted.
Right. Oh, dude. Oh, let's talk about that. It's funny you fucking mentioned that. Would you like to know how many people we met that it was their first time? Couple, 20 or 30 people, right?
Okay.
Throughout the day. You want to know how many of them were escorted? All of them. We were the only motherfuckers there that we talked to that it was their first time that they didn't know 100 people already there. Yes. So that part, I 1000% concur. At some point in that time,
That just reinforces my belief that there was advanced knowledge, advanced warning
I think so.
that the crew was going to be there.
Or they just know we're fucking passerbyers.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's-
beyond that,
Yes.
I'm saying
yes.
there was advanced warning.
yes.
They knew the crew was going to be there.
1000. I
And
believe it.
the guy told you.
Do you fucking sell me out, Joe Skelly?
Listen, I don't tell anybody secrets, and I don't sell snitching.
See?
I'm not a snitch.
See, this is how I know Joe Skelly went. You notice that Joe Skelly did not deny going. He simply said, I wouldn't have said anything. See, you got to watch his words. See? This is what they
Words
do.
are everything.
This is how they teach spies.
Words are everything.
Yeah, perfect words over there, my guy. It was not, oh, I didn't pay him or I wasn't there or anything. It was just, I wouldn't
I
have
wasn't
that.
looking for him either.
I wasn't. Yeah. Uh-huh. That motherfucker knew. And then he offered me chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You offer me cookies now? You tempt me with the sugar? Weird how these dudes knew not to offer me drugs because I was a pharmacist, but they offered me cookies knowing I would take it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
So
So
I think I'm glad that the veil has been pierced.
yeah, of course you are. You need more people to come to your favorite gathering. You want motherfuckers to be there. Somehow I'm figuring you psyops me into going. I'm going to comb through the old episodes and figure it out.
There was a moment.
Motherfucker.
There was a moment, and you.
I'm going to go back to some
Dude,
episodes. All you're going to hear is Joe Skelly going, clowns.
No.
Well, how about that beautiful
reel?
How about that beautiful picture you got me to enforce my clown love? Uh-huh. My vintage Barnum and Bailey ad. You motherfucker. And he knows that's one of my favorites.
All my pieces are falling in place.
I'm getting fucking inceptioned.
Listen, I cast that reel. I cast
Son
that
of a
rod
bitch.
way out. And I started reeling it in real slow, giving it a little shake, a little jig, right? My man, hook, line, and
This
sinker.
is dangerous. This
Hook,
is
line, and
dangerous.
sinker. Hook, line, and
I
sinker.
will not stop until I find Joe at the gathering. I know he's there.
Well, we'll see. The only way the listeners are going to believe that I was there is if you catch me on film.
I could do that.
That's the only way that's going to happen.
I can do that. I have many a footage of Joe Skelly.
Not there.
Not there. No, you're not right. You're not wrong
Not
about
yet.
that. No, not there and not yet. But yeah, I think, listen, I think next year, they might talk to us. Listen, guys, Patreon members, I love all of you for your support. Don't get mad at me, bro. Every time I turn on the camera, man, backs would turn. They fucking knew. They knew, bro. I would turn the camera, backs would turn, people would stop walking by. I would turn the camera off, they would start walking by us again. Then I'd quickly turn the camera on and try to catch them, and then they'd turn and start walking away. I swear to God it happened.
Oh, I believe it.
I
believe it.
They got
Listen,
a
when
secret.
you're on the FBI's watch list,
Yeah, they didn't want nothing to do with that.
no sir.
Especially because Shaggy looks like a cop. It's probably what gave us away the most.
They're like,
Tall, lanky, white kid with curly hair.
yeah, this is the new narco kid.
Yep, broccoli haircut,
Yep.
6'5",
Yep.
pretending to be a kid, but he's not.
21 Jump Street, this motherfucker.
Yep. That's probably why, bro. That's probably why.
Was he wearing a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses? That would have made it perfect.
We should have.
That would have made it perfect. They'd have been like, fucking fed.
Right. But yeah, listen, if you've never gone to the gathering, go. If you can stay for multiple days, do it. If you can get somewhere that's not downwind, even better. By the way,
it's best if you're on the top of the hill.
that's right. You asked for tips earlier. Get a hotel. You can actually drive in and out constantly, so just get a hotel. If you can reserve a hotel near the gathering, do it that way. You don't want to
So
sleep
you're
outside.
saying don't camp.
I wouldn't camp.
Oh, that's you though.
We don't go in the woods though.
Right, that's you.
We stayed on the pavement.
But for people that
Who camp?
camp,
It's worth it. Oh yeah, 1,000%.
do it.
Yeah, 1,000%. Go do it.
go do it.
There's a corner store right near the facility that you can walk to 500 feet. So you can go right to the corner store if you need anything that you really think you need.
I bet the corner store makes $1 jillion.
Oh, in those 4 days? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd be packing Faygo and wraps and all kinds of other weird shit. Just donuts galore. Selling the shit out of stuff. Even better if you could get some steaks in there or some shit. We didn't bring any steaks. It's okay. The